first modern-range single-engine fighter to enter service in the RAF.
So the Hurricanes are airborne, which clears the runway for the big shot as the second starts to roll.
Now get your cameras, video cameras ready. In from the left we have our Hurricane pair, Trevor Dugan and Gabriel Barton. Not managed to fly a Hurricane.
The cowling is much the same as well. It's just it's got a closed cockpit. That's one
was sent to attack the fighter formations.
And they more than performed a job in 1940. Frankly, the country owes a debt to the Hurricane out of all proportion to its brilliance as a fighter aircraft.
Brilliant design, and they obviously achieved it.
Well, yeah, thank goodness. And you know, that famous elliptical wing would never have been designed if the requirement had been to have cannons which are much bigger and chunkier than machine guns. Both the Hurricane and the Spitfire are equipped with 8 Browning .303 machine guns.
Trevor said on the radio they're tightening, so he's just easing back on the control column just to tighten the turn, put a little bit more G as he presented the underside of the formation to us here in the crowd. Side, it was a friendly aircraft.
roads which are slower and obviously because of their size offer a larger target. So that's kind of really why. I don't think you could argue that the Hurricane was better than the Spitfire by 1 in 1930. It just wasn't.
When I spoke to Trevor yesterday about getting that speed up for the initial loop, he talked about how this aircraft really does sound like it's going very, very, very fast, just because the wood and fabric fuselage, the way it's constructed, as you go faster and faster, it just starts rattling more and more. And you think,
and the Ministry of Aircraft Production was able to change was the civilian repair organisation, overhaul that. Production was overhauled. Increased production of repaired aircraft back into flight rose by 168% between May and July 1940. Repaired engines by 145%.
Delightful performance indeed, I'm sure it'll be. Please put your hands together for Trevor Dugan and for Gabriel as they complete the Hurricane pair display.
Very hot in the cockpit though. You are sat in the cockpit with the radiator, which isn't much fun, especially when the radiator temperature gauge is at over 100 degrees C. You sort of open the canopy a bit thinking it might get better, but somehow it gets worse. But they've all got these kinds of problems. Paul Bond was just about to give us a show in the Sea Fury in a bit. So I guarantee you that, out of one of these two Hurricanes, I cast iron guarantee you that one of these has come back with a problem. And it's just a matter of what it takes to solve it. But it's just how they are. They're very antiquated. I mean, it's a 1930s aeroplane, really, very much ahead of its time. And it's mainly hydraulic problems with Hurricanes. Everything's hydraulic except from the brakes. And they just obviously only had certain valves at the time, so they had to make them work for what they wanted to do, and they don't.